You're listening to the Breakaway Breakdown, the bi-weekly podcast featuring breakaway roping's top talents from the professional level down to the amateurs, news, and more. We're going to be covering the fastest sport on dirt. I'm your host, Kaitlin Gustave. This episode is brought to you by Equinity. Stay tuned for the commercial break to learn more. Hey breakaway ropers, it's Kaitlin Gustave. I so hope that you guys enjoyed the extra podcast content that we brought to you during the National Finals of Breakaway Roping from Las Vegas. And with that being said, we have a few extra special interviews from girls that were competing there. We have Joey Williams and Cheyenne Guillory. Joey Williams, she had a stellar performance on day one, and that was rounds 1 through 5. So you've heard her on the podcast already. If you haven't, go back and listen to the day one wrap-up. But she is on today's episode after winning round 8 at the National Finals of Breakaway Roping with a 1.8 second run. And also, we have Cheyenne Guillory, and she's back because she won round 9 with another 1.8 second run. She split the round with Martha Angelone. So those two girls, while we were waiting to interview Sawyer Gilbert, which that is another episode, go back and listen to that awesome episode with the world champion breakaway roper, Sawyer Gilbert. But while we were all sitting in the press room, Joey and Cheyenne were kind and ran up and were ready for interviews, so we got some extra content with them. And then once you're done listening to Joey and Cheyenne, we have an extra special bonus for today's episode, and that is Lari Dee Guy's mental game. It's a special episode brought to you by breakawayroping.com, where Lari Dee is going to explain how she handles losses, keeping her confidence, and staying on track for the next competition. She was also a National Finals Breakaway Roping qualifier, so what better than to know how she mentally prepares for these big events. So anyway, like I said, go back, listen to those earlier episodes on the Breakaway Breakdown podcast, and enjoy listening to these National Final Breakaway Roping qualifiers and round winners. First up, we're going to listen to Joey Williams. Joey Williams, you added a third go-round buckle to your trinket bag after winning round 8 with a 1.8. How are you doing it?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like honestly the last 2 days have just been a blur, but I've had so much fun. And when I came in here at 14th, I just really didn't have a lot to lose. So my mindset was I just wanted to go at each round and see what happened. And my horse worked phenomenal all week. I don't think she took one wrong step. She just did great. And so I owe a lot of credit to her, like I said yesterday. But yeah, it was just such a fun week. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got a no time in round 7. Did that make you kind of bounce back to go fast?
Yeah, my day didn't start out quite how I wanted it to. I was a little off the barrier in the 6th round to start out the day, but I did get it roped, and then same thing, my round 7 calf was a little stronger, and he stepped right on me, and I kind of got caught between throws there, like should I take another swing and move over there and rope him, and I threw it, and it didn't work. I top knotted him, and so after a couple of disappointing first 2 rounds, I definitely went back and took a minute and was like, all right, if we only have 3 calves left to rope, Joey, we got to turn it around here. So a little self-talk.
Well, you definitely did turn it around. You had a very successful week, despite, the no times. Very successful week. And you had a big cheering section.
Yes.
Talk about that. Who was in your cheering section?
Oh, man. So I grew up in Buffalo, South Dakota, and a bunch of people from my hometown were here. That's where most of my family still lives. So there was quite a few people here from there. And then now I live in Ballburg, Montana, or around the Broadus area, and there's a bunch of people here that came out from there to watch too, and a lot of them are roping over at the South Point. But it was so fun that they all took the time to come over here and cheer me on. So I think anytime you grow up in a small town community, you have a really big community that supports you, and it really showed. They threw me some great NFR send-off parties, and I really have 2 really awesome communities to support me, so it's pretty great.
No, that's awesome. That's good to have that backbone helping you and pushing you. It gives you a lot more drive, I feel like. Now, your year, you have a family, you have a job, and you're out here rodeoing, and to come here, have a pretty good NFR.
it's different than a lot of the pros that they don't have all of that. So what was it like stepping away from home?
Oh man,
to be able to get this done?
Yeah, it is so different because I honestly I don't even know if I can put myself in the professional breakaway roper category, but I started out the year, I had my daughter last December, and so I don't even think I roped a calf until about February, and then didn't do anything, and the first rodeo I entered was the end of June, and was just planning on circuit rodeoing because I did want to just kind of stay home close to my family, and you can still go to quite a few rodeos circuit rodeoing, and next thing I knew, we were loading up and taking off, and I was gone for pretty much the entire month of September once I, thought I had a chance. And so it all worked out in my favor, and I'm really glad I did it. And I don't know what 2022 will bring. Yeah. I definitely would like to go to the winter rodeos just because it's such a great opportunity that who knows if I'll ever find myself in this spot again. So I would like to go if I can and try and make it work with the kids. And if I have some success, I'll probably try to get back here again. And if not, I might just step back in circuit rodeo again. So
yeah, and you can be okay with it.
Yes, I am totally okay with staying close to home. But yeah, my mare deserves to go. So if I don't go, someone should go on her.
Someone should take her.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone listening to this, if you need a good breakaway horse, just kidding. That someone special is going to be able to take that horse if it comes to that. And just being able to be in this setup. I know we keep saying, it's not the little yellow arena, but it's a step closer.
It is, yeah.
How, it's history.
It is.
You guys are making history every year.
I was just so thankful for this opportunity that we got, and I know that, a lot of us, eventually it would be so cool to see us in the Thomas and Mack, and I think that within time it'll happen. I think it'll take a little patience, but I really hope that for these younger girls' sake that eventually it gets there.
Yeah, and how cool is it to see a young girl, she is the youngest girl here, win the world and win the average. How
that
cool
is so
that?
cool. We just talked about that today. Sawyer and I are from the same town, and I was a senior in high school and she was in kindergarten. So it was kind of funny, and so like I said, a lot of people from our hometown are here, so it's pretty cool to see that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
She's definitely an inspiration. She's a great roper and a great cowgirl. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know you kind of talked about you don't know what 2022 is going to hold for you. What are the next, couple weeks going to look for you? You're going home, Montana's probably snowing right now.
Yes, we're going to go home and celebrate Christmas and drink hot chocolate.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to do for a couple weeks. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. And this is cutting into it a little bit, but it's okay. I don't mind.
It's worth it.
Yes, it's worth it. But yeah, we're just going to go home and step back, and then hopefully I'll be down for Fort Worth. But, I don't know if I'll enter much before then, so yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Joey, congratulations, and congratulations on being amongst one of the top 15 making history.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, enjoy this little segment with Cheyenne Guillory.
Cheyenne, you just completed your first ever national finals of breakaway roping and ended up coming home with 2 go-round buckles. How going in did you think that was going to happen, that you would be coming home with go-round buckles and having a pretty successful week?
Going into it, I really wanted to make smart runs and to catch all of them. I missed my 5th go-round calf yesterday, and so then that went out the window a little bit, but I caught 9 of them. I think I broke out twice. Out of the 10, I broke out twice, so... this has been so exciting. Just the environment, the fans that came out were loud. They weren't it wasn't completely packed, but it was really loud in there and fun. And that horse I have is 7 years old, and I'm really proud of him. I thought about after I ran my last calf, I said, my horse is 7 years old, and he's taken a lot of pressure this year for me. So for him to be able to back in and run 5 like that 2 nights in a row is really, really huge for me. And it's just been so exciting. On the 9th go-around, I was 1-8 and split the round with Martha. And on a lot of those runs, I just wasn't getting the feel I wanted on the barrier. I was just a tick too early or a tick behind, and I came back there, and Cody and Taylor were right there, and I said, yeah, I definitely knew I got out that time. And they just looked at me like I was dumb, we didn't know you got out. But that was the best feel that I had, and was able to be the fastest I was on 10.
Yeah, and kind of tell me about that 1-8. That's one of the quickest runs of the rodeo. It was so fast. Do you remember, the steps, throwing your rope, everything?
For me, when I'm able to be really fast, most of it is just a feel and muscle memory. And Some of the ones that I broke the barrier were behind. Like one of them I was late on because when they ran that calf before me, he didn't really leave, and then with me he shot out of there. So it all starts from the score, and that calf just rolled out of there just perfect and had a good feel and everything. My horse was flat, and the calf was just right there. So it was just a good feel, and muscle memory took over.
Equinety Horse XL and Equinety Ultimate OEC helps keep horses' bodies in the best shape possible when competing and going down the road. The amino acids in Equinety products help horses both at home and on the road. Horses recover faster and overall have healthier coat and hoof quality. Equinety products are a go-to for a solid supplement foundation for all horses at any stage of life, no matter what their job is. Equinety Horse XL is made up of 100% pure amino acids specifically formulated to give the body what it needs in order to promote repair at the cellular level. The Equinety Ultimate OEC is a flaxseed-based omega-3 with natural vitamin E and colloidal silver all in one, which makes for a very powerful antioxidant, helps neutralize free radicals, and helps to reduce inflammation. For more information, please visit www.teamequinety.com. That is www.teamequinety.com.
Yeah. Now, it's over. Are you satisfied with your performance overall?
Coming in, there wasn't enough money in the average for me to win a world championship. So, I wasn't just huge gung-ho on the average. So, yes, I am. I made some mistakes, but that's part of it. That didn't cost me, a world championship or anything like that. So, mistakes are part of it. And then, after today, I just said, I'm going to go at them. And then if something goes wrong, I'm going to go in there and rope my calf. And for breaking out on 2 of them, I was satisfied with where I ended up in the average. I got some money in the average. So it did. Normally I'm not the best at when things don't start great, going and just finishing a run. And I had that happen a couple of times. And so that's something I've been working on and was able to execute.
Definitely. Now, going in, it's over. Now we're starting 2022. What's the game plan? Did this just light a huge fire for you?
It did. That's what I told Taylor. I said, wow, it's time to start over. So I'm going to go home, and we have a WCRA in Fort Worth, and I'm going to go to that and then take a couple 3 or 4 days off for Christmas and then get back at it.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, congratulations, Cheyenne.
Thank you.
Well, you made it this far. Go ahead, listen to Lari Dee Guy as she breaks down her mental game, brought to you by BreakawayRoping.com. And don't forget, if you're loving these little segments from BreakawayRoping.com, head on over there and use promo code BREAKDOWN15 to receive 15% off your membership. That is BREAKDOWN15 for 15% off. Enjoy listening to Lari Dee Guy's mental game.
I'm Lari Dee Guy, and this is my mental game. I approach the mental game by controlling the things I can control and trying to let go of the things that I can't control. In practicing that, the lady that helps me with my mental game, Donnie Taylor, says the percentages of what you can control should be a lot higher than what you can't control. And so when I'm working on my mental game, when I'm practicing throughout the day, I really keep my mind on that. If I'm having a horse that's maybe giving me some trouble, and I back in the corner and I put my mind on the horse and not the focus of the calf and what I'm going to see and leaving, then I know that I'm focusing more on the uncontrollables instead of the controllables. And when I say that, like the controllables is if I can back in that corner and block out some things that are going on underneath me with my horse or my surroundings and keep my focus on the calf and my job that I have at hand, then I know that my mental game is really good at that particular moment. And when I get there to the rodeo or to the competition, that I have great focus and control of the controllables. When we talk about controllables, things you can control and things you can't, it's the first time I ever made my list, I started out making the things that I can't control, and instead of thinking of the things that I can control. And when I looked at that later on, and I thought, the main thing that I can control is my attitude and my gratitude. And I can control my friends. I can control who I surround myself with. When you think of the things that you can control versus the things you can't control, it puts things in a totally different perspective. I was just at a rodeo this past week, and I broke the barrier. And the first thing that I was like, man, I broke the barrier, shouldn't have broke the barrier and all that. And Kelsey Chase said, well, the calf turned his head right when you nodded. Could you control that? And I said, absolutely not. And she said, well, then you couldn't control breaking the barrier right there. And so when you think of things like that, and you take yourself and you just focus only on your controllables, and you're gonna focus on the things you can't control too, but you got to try to put that at the end. You want to say you want to 80% on the stuff you can control, 20% on the stuff you can't. And when I think of, even if I'm having a moment, like things are going kind of bad, I instantly start going to the things that I can control. Like control your emotions, control your breathing, control who you're around. If somebody's over there talking, or you hear people talking and saying negative things about the calves are bad, or the conditions are bad, or the score's too long, get away from those people. You can control that. You can ride your horse away. I really start thinking of the controllables versus the non-controllables. Mental game for me gets challenged when there's several different occasions, and it probably challenges everyone in the same way. But if you can be on the top of the world and be winning, you can go 4 places and be winning at all of them, and then the next thing you go to 1 and you don't do well, and mental game can change so fast for people. But literal mental game is being able to control yourself at all times. And when something like that happens and you lose a little confidence or whatever, you've got to be able to regain it quickly. And when people talk about mental game, everybody has a great mental game when things are going well. The people that literally have a great mental game is when things don't go well, being able to control yourself and get yourself back to a top level. And so, I think it happens weekly with people, maybe even daily with people, that, something happens. I know with me, it's a daily process that I go through. I can be practicing and have the best practice in the world on one horse and switch horses and things not go as well. But that doesn't define, who I am or how I rope or how I score or whatever. And I have to realize that and know that and, put it away. It's almost just like deleting a video. Like if I make a mistake in a video, I want to watch the mistake, address the mistake, and then delete the video. I don't want to watch that ever again. I want to watch the great things and the good things and get rid of the things that I feel would, hinder my mental game.
Thank you guys so much for listening and staying with us and following this new journey we have. I hope you guys are liking the content you're receiving on the podcast, and stay tuned for more.